At some point, every home gym owner asks the same question. What's the first specialty bar I should buy? Today, I'm going to show you arguably the most underrated specialty bar, the cambered bar, and discuss whether or not this should be your first pick. Let's go. What's up guys, Kyle with HypertroFit.com, the best place to design your home gym and develop your training program. Today I am going to take you through my thoughts on the Exponent Edge Cambered bar. This is a bar that I've had for the past week, so very early first impressions, but I feel like I've got a good handle on what this bar offers. It was sent to me free for review, and I do have affiliate links and discount codes in the description, so if you're interested in this, do check those out. But I'm gonna give you my honest take after using this. I have used a few cambered bars in the past, and even though it's not a bar you see very commonly, it does have a very unique place, especially in a home gym. Spec-wise, this bar is only 71 inches long, so much shorter than your typical barbell. That shortness is coming from the sleeve length, so you can still fully rack this in any 47 or 49 inch rack, no problem, but the sleeves are shorter. This shouldn't be an issue because you can still load plenty of weight on this. Even though it's 31 pounds and a shorter bar, it still comes with a 700-pound weight capacity. And if you're doing cambered bar to rows or presses, you're never gonna touch anywhere near that, so not an issue there. If anything, this just makes it more portable and easy to use. It's a 28 millimeter diameter, so a little bit thinner bar, not quite deadlift bar territory, but a little bit thinner, and the camber is 4 inches. The bar sports a really nice medium mountain knurl, which has really good grip to it in a bunch of different spots, so you can use this for various different exercises. And overall, I think the look of the bar is just absolutely gorgeous. It's this nice titanium oxide finish on the sleeves, and it just looks really sharp. All of this is coming in at a retail price of $309. Now, I do have a discount code, which if you use code HYPE, that's gonna save you 5%, bringing that $309 down to about $293, and shipping is included in that price, so know that going forward. Now, with the specs out of the way, why would you want to use a cambered bar? The truth of the matter is a cambered bar like this one doesn't really add anything new to your gym, so to speak. So it's not some brand new exercise that you can't do with a straight bar, but what it does do is it enhances a few exercises that you can already perform. The two main use cases for a camber bar are increasing your range of motion on presses and pulls, namely bench press, incline bench press, and bent over barbell row. The other thing that this camber allows you to do is a barbell chest supported row with either a chest support pad or even an incline bench. And this cambered shape allows you to pull unobstructed with that chest support. This is going to allow you to hammer your upper back or your lats, depending on where you're focused on pulling, while keeping your low back out of this, especially if you're trying to manage fatigue there. That's one of the most useful pieces of a camber bar. The presses are really nice as well. So if you are trying to increase your range of motion, grow your pecs, and really get that deep loaded stretch on a bench press, then this is a fabulous bar. You're not going to need tons of weight in that position, and a 700-pound weight capacity is more than enough. The only real downside here is that 31 pounds is kind of awkward when dealing with plate math, and now you throw 245s on each side, and instead of 135, you're looking at 121. So it's weird, but you can get over it pretty quickly. And if you're looking at this and saying, there is no way I could utilize extra range of motion on my bench press, you can actually use this in the opposite way as well. So you can flip the bar over and now shorten the range of motion and actually use this kind of like a built-in bench block. Now, I would say if you're limited shoulder range of motion and you don't really care about the rowing aspect of this, there are much cheaper ways to go about it. But just the fact that this inherently has that built in to be able to use, you could potentially be training with somebody with shoulder issues that needs a shorter range of motion. They flip it over and use the limited path, and then if you're trying to go deeper, you flip it to where you can actually leverage that empty camber space and go below what your chest would normally limit you with on a straight bar. So if you're buying a cambered bar, those are the primary reasons you're using it. Now, that's not to say that that's the only thing that this can do. You might look at this and immediately think, oh, you could probably curl with that, and you would be right. So the angles on these handles is 30 degrees, and it looks very similar to an easy curl bar. This is something that you can use it for. They are a little bit wider than your typical easy curl bar, so do know that. And because the weight isn't centered over the angled part of the handle, the bar, when it's loaded, does try to kind of rip itself out of your hands. So I've found that when I'm curling with it, I do need to have my hands further up the angled part, closer to the straight portion near the sleeves, and it does work. It doesn't feel quite as nice as a true easy bar because the balance is better, but it's still very usable in this position. The Exponent Edge bar also has a couple other knurling points so that you can grip this in various ways depending on what you want to do with it. You can do skull crushers with it, and you can actually even try to squat with this. So if you have a shoulder range of motion issue getting into a back squat position, you can use this kind of similar to like a Duffalo bar or the Rogue camber bar. Now, I wouldn't say that this is a perfect replacement for those. If you have those types of dedicated cambered squat bars, they're much better, they're thicker, they have better knurl, they're just overall built for squatting. But if you don't have access to that, this is a nice little alternative that can still get the job done. It doesn't have full knurl across the back, so there is a little bit more slickness to it, but you can still load this and feel fairly secure with those wider edge knurl points in the middle portion of the bar. And like I said in the beginning, this is a very unique style of specialty bar. So there are other types of cambered bars, but most companies are making them with neutral grip handles. This is something that only a couple different companies are making variants of. So I found one that Titan Fitness makes. Rogue also makes it with their Seal Row bar, same type of idea. And even across those companies, each bar is unique in its own right. So the Titan Fitness bar, it's a little bit on the cheaper side, anywhere from $215 to $250, depending on when it's on sale. It's a 45-pound bar with a 600-pound weight capacity, but its camber is only 3 inches. So that might be a little bit too shallow to be able to benefit from especially the chest supported row portion, whereas like I said, the Exponent Edge, that 4th inch, I really do think it's making a difference. And then you look at an offering like Rogue has with their Seal Row bar, and that is also a unique bar in that it's 40 pounds. It's not full length, but it's a little bit longer than the Exponent Edge bar, and it's a 7-inch camber. So that could be good for really long range of motion, but then on the pressing side, you've got nothing to save you there. So each one of these bars has kind of their own unique quirks. The Rogue bar is also more expensive at $325 plus shipping, at least at the time of making this video. So there's not really a standard way to make a cambered bar. It's more of what are you wanting out of it. I think where the Exponent Edge bar sits in the slot amongst these other companies is it's gorgeous, first of all, but it's also very light and easy to maneuver. Overall, it's just a very well crafted bar. It feels great, the knurl is solid, the finishes are beautiful, and it's going to allow you to do these exercises we've discussed in a very productive manner. And if you are trying to focus more on building your upper body from a hypertrophy standpoint, then this very well could be the best specialty bar for you to pick up initially. So I want to thank Exponent Edge again for sending this bar out for review. I've really enjoyed using it, and it's going to maintain a spot in my training regularly from here on out. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this category in general, or if you've actually used this bar before, what your thoughts are on it. I'm really a big fan of it, and if you like any of the Exponent Edge products in their catalog, the code HYPE does save you 5%, so remember that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you again in the next one.